Fighting for freedom, liberty, and the restoration of the Constitution. The Patrick Riggins Show. Call in now at 865-243-8255. That's 243-TALK. And now your host, Patrick Riggins.
Welcome back to the Patrick Riggins Show. Everybody wants to rule the world. So,
I don't.
No, I don't either. I don't know what the obsession is with that.
I want a little chunk of it, but not all of it.
Well, you won't rule your part of the world. Let someone else rule theirs and stop worrying about just what everybody else is doing.
Just my 1 little acre in Seymour, 2 acres.
Yeah. And you're set.
I'm set. Government, leave me alone.
Now, see, I would talk to your wife, and she might dispute the fact who's the ruler out there on that.
Yeah, well, we'll not go there.
Because you got to go home. And I don't want a phone call from her. Stop putting those ideas in his head.
Yeah. Thanks.
Hey, not only can I run off listeners, I can ruin relationships, too. I can multitask.
This whole day has been a mess.
It's because it's nice outside and everybody's happy.
Everybody's been listening since 11 this morning. You know, it's
been crazy at the radio show.
Mess, yeah.
Or station.
There's just one common factor in all that is me.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's a thread that runs through every show, and I believe its name is Tory. Maybe you are inflammatory.
Wah, wah.
Wah. Or you could also be contributory. Not the exact pronunciation of that word, but...
Or I can be inventoried.
Inventory.
Or factory.
Or factory. Yeah. Oh, gosh. Yeah. You can just hear him tuning over to the rock station. Anyway, I want to kind of pick up a little bit on what we were talking about when we left. And that's just this splitting up of America into groups. And let's look at it from a government's point of view. They don't have to, when you're running for an office, especially like president or something like that, they don't have to campaign in states that don't have a high electoral count or a state that their particular party has all wrapped up. They only have to concentrate on those states that are so-called in play, those states that could go either way. The safe states, those states that I've won merely by belonging to the party I do, I may make 1 or 2 trips to them, but I don't really have to listen to them. They'll blindly vote for the party that has the state all locked up. That's the same thing with these interest groups. All I need to do is pull together the congressional representatives that are pressured by certain key groups, and I can get my legislation passed. It doesn't really matter if I get some opposition. There aren't enough votes to stop the passage, no matter who is in the majority. If I can get these key groups on my side, I've got my bill all taken care of. You know, why do you think lobbyists only concentrate on certain politicians? Same reason, getting those swing votes locked up, those solid votes, we don't have to worry about those. All they need are a certain number of swing votes, and then they're all set. In case you're wondering what a swing vote is, it's someone who doesn't vote their principles. Otherwise, they wouldn't be a swing vote. They wouldn't be able to be bought off or pressured or bullied into voting a certain way. Same thing with swing voters. They sell their vote to the highest bidder. You know, we should just do something like a website, like the political machines of the past. Just go ahead and pay off people to vote a certain way. You could list a politician, determine how many votes that needed to be cast for them to win, and then just start the bidding, like eBay for elections. Because that's what essentially is happening with about 50% of the people voting. They'll only vote for someone who is promising them something, promising to take money from one American citizen and give it to them. You know, let's just remove all the fluff and get down to buying votes. That's what it seems to be coming to in this country. Speaking of which, real quick, I was talking on a previous show how there's no difference between Republicans and Democrats. In fact, I think I talk about that a lot. I think I talk about it on this show even, today. But anyway, I received an email from a congressional representative's office stating that there's a huge difference between this person's political party and the other one. Let's say this person, well, I don't know, let's say is a Republican merely for illustration purposes. I'm not saying that someone from the office of a Republican politician emailed me. It could have been a Democrat's office. I'm just saying Republican for the purposes of this story. But I received this email and had just had to laugh after bullet point, reiterated the spending differences between the two parties. Now, this email was literally about a page long. They've included some footnotes and links to pages on the internet. When I replied, this is exactly what I said, and I printed it out, so I knew my audience, I knew they'd like to hear about it. But what I wrote was, Dear Mr. Smith, well, Mr. Smith being the generic name of this person who wrote me. Dear Mr. Smith, the difference between stealing $50 and stealing $100 from taxpayers is only a matter of degree. You are still guilty of theft either way. Thank you for listening to the show, and I look forward to more correspondence from your office. Sincerely, Patrick Riggins. So, well, I really don't think I'll be getting anything more from them, but it will be interesting to see if I do. I hated to reply to a page-long, footnoted, and hyperlinked email with 4 lines of text, but hey, I don't feel the need to elaborate on the point. I thought it was pretty simple and straightforward. If you're stealing, it is wrong, no matter whether it's a little or a lot. I don't think any of the politicians at any level of government understand that at all. And really, why should they? Our citizens don't understand it either. A large percentage is perfectly happy to take money confiscated from their fellow citizens. In fact, most people receiving government handouts will justify it by saying they actually deserve it in some way. If you're a regular listener to this radio show, you know I advocate for getting yourself freed from the bonds of the government dole. Even if it means you have to suffer some short-term pain, in the long run, you'll be so much better off depending on yourself instead of government. Now, you may ask, why is that? Because government's going to fail. It cannot continue spending more money than it takes in. It's simple math. Government is a creation, and thus it can disappear. We can't. We are humans. We'll still be here long after government is gone. When it has run out of money, it dies. When humans run out of money, we just start providing for ourselves and continue to live on. Heck, we'll even we'll even help out our fellow humans to survive by we'll share food and water, whatever, with those who cannot help themselves. Not the lazy, not those wanting to live off the work of others, but those people who absolutely cannot do for themselves. Because we're Americans, that's what we do. Anyway, we're up on the end of the shoe here, the Patrick Riggins Show. An interesting show, would you not say, Tori?
Very interesting.
Very interesting. Oh, he's just enraptured as he texts on his phone.
Dude.
Yeah, I'll call you out. They can see you on the webcam. So anyway, if you want more information about the show, you can go to facebook.com/Patrick Riggins Show. Are we up on a minute yet, Tori?
We got 1 minute exactly.
All righty. So we'll wrap this up then. You can go to facebook.com/Patrick Riggins Show. If you need to know how to spell Riggins, it's Riggins, Patrick Riggins Show altogether. You can also go to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Patrick Riggins Show. And you can get us the old-fashioned way. Just send us a card or letter to WNOX here on Kingston Pike in Knoxville. Join me next Sunday afternoon where once again we'll talk about Gino Vanelli. Freedom, liberty, and the restoration of the Constitution. This is Patrick Riggins, and we'll see you next Sunday afternoon. Have a great week.
Join us again next week for a solid dose of truth on the Patrick Riggins Show. Every Sunday from 2 to 3 p.m. Be there.